Hey, everybody. Welcome to a wonderful opportunity. My name is Mary Grace Lewandowski. I'm an executive company vice president with Park Lane Jewelry. And I am here to spend about 15 to 20 minutes with you to just give you an overview of the spectacular opportunity waiting for you here at Park Lane Jewelry. You know, many of us discover this type of job by accident. And I've just learned to use like a 4 question format. It's like I'm going to kind of ask myself the questions and answer them, thereby giving you some great information about Park Lane and allowing you to put this in your um, the back of your brain for ideas on how to better your life. Okay. So I'm going to ask myself 4 questions, and the questions are going to be: why direct sales? Why jewelry? Why Park Lane? And why now? Now, I first ask, why direct sales? And I like to answer this question because, first of all, I think it's super important that people realize what direct sales is. There's such a misunderstanding out there with people using like little terms like pyramid scheme and things like that. No, direct sales simply means direct to consumer. We provide a need, we provide a service for people with a need. So instead of going to the mall to look for something and not know if there's enough stock, instead of going online and not having a personal connection, we do it all. 78% of the reps here in our company, anyway, do strictly online selling and promoting, and about 9% do strictly in home and in restaurant and at event shows. And the other is an overage of those of us who do a little bit of both. So direct sales simply means direct to consumer. Now, I do want to share one of my favorite stories with you about direct sales because it really hit home for me. And I didn't hear it until after, I was doing direct sales and already knew a lot of wonderful things about it. But there is a book that I highly recommend called The Automatic Millionaire. And normally, when people are looking into a side gig like this or a change, they're looking because they want more income. Okay. So David Bach wrote The Automatic Millionaire. And he wrote a plan. He made up a plan on how people, normal, everyday people like you and me, could become millionaires in a very short time, like a span of something like 8 to 10 years. And they could do it. He was going to show them and illustrate for them how they could do that by investing anywhere from $300 to $500 a month consistently. And this is, to be fair, about 20 years ago. So in today's world, it may translate to more like if we were to invest $500 to $700 a month. Okay. So David Bach was all ready. He had appointments with people. He couldn't wait to get people on this path to financial freedom. And he said he very quickly, within a first couple of days of doing presentations, realized that we had a way bigger problem in America than trying to make people millionaires. The problem is that most people, 99.9 in what he was finding, lived not paycheck to paycheck, but paycheck to beyond paycheck. That most people were living behind with a lot of debt. And that when he would say the idea of investing $300 to $500 a month, they would kind of just look at him with like, are you kidding me right now? Like, how would you ever think that we'd be able to do that? And he found that most people, if they were going to have any extra money, it was going to be to pay for a special vacation, to pay off debt, to take care of something critical that might happen, like a furnace blowing up or whatever. And I know that when he was telling this story that I could relate, because I know that that's the way that my husband and I, for the most part, were living most of our life until we discovered direct sales. So David Bach made it a mission to help these people come up with another stream of income. And what he found along the way is that normally this was going to involve some type of huge sacrifice on the part of the individuals that he was talking to. Like maybe they had decided that one of them was going to stay home with the children. Well, always an option for one of them to go back to work. Maybe it was going to involve somebody taking on a whole nother second time full-time job or a part-time job, but where somebody else would be deciding what the hours were. Maybe it was going to have them having things that had become very important to them and their children that they were going to have to give them up. And he said, just in this exact voice, he goes, and that's when I discovered direct sales. And he thought, oh my gosh, this is it. Because direct sales is all of the benefits and all of the perks of running your own business with none of the overhead or the risk. With direct sales, you get to decide when you want to work. You know the schedule that you can work around. You know when you need to make more money and when it's okay to make less money. You know when you can go to work. You pick your own hours. You choose, you work around the life that you already have. And I just was so enamored with this whole presentation that he was doing, because that is exactly what my family and I found when I took on direct sales. It pays far better than minimum wage, and I get to control my schedule and decide how much I want to make, when I want to work, how I can work, and how I can fit it into my schedule. So that's my favorite story about direct sales, and why I really believe that everybody should look into it, because if it's a short-term need or a long-term need, it's going to be able to serve a need for you. Now, that being said, we ask, why jewelry? There's lots of different products out there that you could represent. Why jewelry? Well, again, it's somebody else's story that I'm going to share because it made such an impact on me. And that's the story of the Levine family. Now, Arthur and Shirley Levine, a 16 and 18-year-old little couple, decided way back in 1955 that they wanted to start their own direct sales business. They loved the formula. They loved the ability to use other people's living rooms for their showroom. They loved the fact that it was not going to change just their family tree, but they could help other people like me, all the way down this many generations away from them at this point, that they could help other families change their family tree. What they didn't know is what product they should represent, but they were smart. They didn't just pick something they loved, or well, I think in the end they did, but they didn't just pick something that like just spoke to them. What they did is they did their research. And what they did is they hired 3 separate consulting companies. None of the 3 knew that the others had been hired, just to make sure there was no like overlap. 3 separate consultants came in to meet them at different times, and the Levines said to them, here's what we want you to do. We want you to go out and do your research, come back with your top 3 product recommendations of what we should sell here with our company that we haven't started or named yet, and be prepared to defend your answers. Well, much to the Levines' really surprise, they all 3 came back with jewelry as number 1. The other products varied on where they were on the list, but jewelry was number 1 across the board. And they were all ready to defend their answers. And this is why jewelry is the place to be. Okay, let's think about this. Now I've lived it for many, many years, and I know all this to be true. But think about the market. All right, everybody wears jewelry. Everybody in some form or another. Sure, we can come up with a couple people who've never had a single piece of jewelry on, but for the most part, it's every demographic. It's every age. It's every gender. It's every culture wears some kind of ornamentation. Okay, it withstands the test of time. It has been around since way BC, and it is forecasted to go up something like 10 times in the next 10 years in popularity. So it's here to stay, right? It's considered consumable. I loved this one. So fashion is consumable. It changes with the seasons, the trends, the outfits, you name it. Fashion is consumable. And people maybe don't want to go out and buy a whole new wardrobe every time a trend comes along, but they will buy a new accessory in order to stay with the trend. So it is considered consumable. It's also a fast moving, like of the moment, exciting, young field to be in, because I feel like it's always like, teaching us like what exactly is going on in the world and how it's been impacted by things that are going on in the world. Now, those are reasons that as buyers, people love jewelry. What about from our standpoint? People who decide to represent jewelry, it's very light and very inexpensive to store and ship. So we literally, I'm trying to see around here, I'll have these little tiny envelopes that cost me like $3 to put a necklace in this little envelope, bubble envelope, and send it to somebody. Park Lane has millions of dollars of inventory readily available on their Chicago warehouse floor. This was so cool for us when COVID hit, because we weren't waiting for barges to come in or anything like that. You guys, people wear our product. So this has just become a very delightful perk that I don't know that I really thought about. But when somebody sees my necklaces and they go, oh my gosh, your necklaces are so beautiful, I can say very casually, Oh, that makes me so happy. I'm in the jewelry business. This is what I do. This is the product I represent. From there, why don't you give me your phone number? I'll text you one of our catalogs, or I'll text you my website. So that's not something you can do with a whole bunch of products, okay? But you can do that with jewelry. So jewelry is definitely the place to be. Why Park Lane? Okay, so you might not even know this. You may have stumbled across this by accident, but there are other jewelry companies. But I've also done my research on why Park Lane is the best one to be with. Okay, so first of all, what I think is like amazingly wonderful is that we are the only full service jewelry company. And what I mean by that is most companies have like their niche, okay? Maybe they're pearls, maybe they're silver, maybe they're Swarovski crystals, maybe they're just natural stones. We have different categories for each of all of the ones I just mentioned and then some. So my customers have actually said to me, you know what I love about Park Lane? I know that no what matter who I invite. It could be my 90-year-old great grandmother, or it could be my little teeny bopper niece. They're going to find something that they like. There's going to be something that they really, really like. So I love that. Okay. Full service. We're the largest direct sales jewelry company in the world. We've been around since 1955. So we're the longest running jewelry company, and we are debt free and cash rich. Now, that is pretty awesome from the standpoint of us knowing that we're going to get paid every week. Yes, we get paid every week, but it's also wonderful because it gives us a lot of buying power. So we're always like, who do you think the fashion designers want to work for? Someone who's going to pay them cash, right? Who do the stone houses want to guarantee a whole bunch of their like jasmine stones to? It's the one that's going to pay for cash, right? So we're very often, always really on the cutting edge of whatever's going to happen out there. And we're so secure, which may not have meant as much to me before COVID. But man, was that a feeling of relief when I saw other companies going down and having to make huge changes. And Park Lane was so solid because we've already been through generations of natural disasters and anything else that could happen in the world. We really have wars, the whole bit, okay? So we are really solid. Our programs are the most generous in the industry. This is a fact. If you were to take an Excel spreadsheet and, across the board, look at all the programs, you would definitely choose Park Lane. We have the most generous customer sale in the industry. We have the most generous hostess program. That's like when people recommend their friends and family to us, what we're able to do for them, jewelry-wise, unbelievable. Our average hostess gets anywhere from $3,000 to $1,000 in free and discounted jewelry. And I just want to tell you in both those cases, with the sale and with the hostess program, our customers get a lot of jewelry for their money. Our hostesses get a lot of jewelry for hosting. What happens to us when everybody goes out in the world with all that jewelry on? We don't want them out in the world with one piece on. And maybe some people like it, some people don't. We want them out there with multiple pieces on that people are commenting on, and they're all coming back to us. This is big stuff. And then the profit program. We are the highest paid reps in the industry. We have an amazing direct appoint program. I loved it. That's what brought me to Park Lane. I was a top income earner in another direct sales company, and Park Lane was able to offer me a position that was commensurate with the experience and the salary that I had been making at my other company. Now that is normal. That is free enterprise. That is what happens to almost everybody when they are looking for another job. They look for something that will recognize the experience that they already have. So I really appreciated that business side of Park Lane. In the same way, we start our people at 30%, start them at 30% commission, all the way to a 50% commission that they can work themselves up to. It's unbelievable. My last company was 20%. And you could do something special and maybe get to 25%. Okay. We have the whole gamut of things that entice people. Okay. Everybody's got to find what motivates them. We can encourage, but we can't make people want certain things. But what we can do is have certain things that turn people on and make them want to strive. Okay. So we don't have minimums. We don't have any punishment of any sort. People never lose their title. Okay, if they've gotten to a certain title, they don't have to do certain things to keep their name of their title. They don't have to do certain things every month. to stay part of Park Lane Jewelry, what we do instead is we lead with things like, do you like trips? Well, good, because we have 2 trips a year. As a matter of fact, excuse me, I get all choked up when I think about the trips. I am leaving for Paris on Wednesday, and in September, I'm going to Ireland. And then the following March, I already know I'm going to St. Thomas. So we have 2 trips a year. I can't even count anymore how many trips I have been on because of Park Lane Jewelry. And they're not business trips, they're fun, okay? We also have cars, okay? We can all get a car allowance every single month. The white Mercedes is our signature car, but you can also pick any car you want and just get a little bit less than you would get for the Mercedes. We have free jewelry. Every single month, we can earn up to $1,000 in free jewelry. We get paid on what we buy. So you know what, you guys, even if you're out there as a customer, the smartest thing to do would be to become a rep and take advantage of our friends and family discount. Because what about every time you placed an order, if you also got a paycheck? Wouldn't that be smart? So we get paid on our own, on our anything we buy from ourselves and anything that of our teams buy. So it is a really, really super generous fashion designer based, fashion stylist based compensation plan. Meaning there is no big board of directors. There's no money going direct to home office that no one else is getting. All the decisions they make are based on the happiness of us, of the reps out in the field. Why now? This is a really important question. And if I don't inspire you in any other way today, I find that at my age, one of the things that I want to do is be able to leave pieces of advice for people that I've learned along the way. And one of the smartest things that I've learned along the way in the trajectory of my career is that successful people do it now. Successful people do not overthink things. They do not think of everything that could not go right and have to have in that eventuality some kind of recovery plan before they even begin. Successful people start. They look at the pros and the cons. They weigh them. As long as there's nothing awful, and there isn't here, then off they go, and they trust that the rest will unveil itself as it goes. And it will, you guys, because I know you're nervous. It's human nature to be nervous, but you have people like me and bunches of us with hundreds of years of experience between all of us, and your success is our success. I have tools available for you that are totally yours for the taking, as much as they are for anybody else. So you could literally run a cut and paste business on your Facebook page if you wanted to. We have the people here to teach you what to do, but only you can decide to take that first step and get started. Right now, we have this amazing deal where for $99, you get to choose $500 worth of jewelry. Now, that in itself is an amazing deal. Okay, if I said that at a show, I think every customer would take me up on it, right? $99, you get to choose $500 worth of jewelry of your choice. You also, right now, get to choose any impression bracelet you want. Our impression bracelets retail for $188. At half price, they're $91. And right now, you get to add it for free. So in essence, you're really adding $688 worth of jewelry for $99. The $99 also covers your own personal website and all of the tools that you need in order to have access to our back office at Park Lane, as well as all of the tools that I pay a professional to provide to us in our library so that we can do, as I said earlier, a cut and paste business with all kinds of images. Every one of us, whenever we started, every year we renew our website for $100. So you guys right now for $99, get your website and everything that we get for a year, plus get to get all that jewelry. $99 is a write-off, okay? What you should do is schedule a showing. We call it a promotional party with the person who invited you here tonight. She will do your show, or he will do your show, okay? You'll get paid. Not them, you. In addition to picking out the $500 worth of jewelry and the impression bracelet, you'll also get all of the hostess benefits. And this would be a way for us to just promote and let the people in your life know that you're going to be giving this a go, that you're going to put your toe in the water, and that you're going to be their representative from here on out. By the time you get that paycheck a week from now, the $99 is on your credit card and you pay it off. So really, I like to call this a no-cost opportunity. The people that are taking the risk are not you. The people that are taking the risk are our wonderful owners at Park Lane Jewelry, because we want this for you so badly. So please grab the Google survey that you will find in the Grace and Grit studio pinned to the top. Or if you're watching this on YouTube, I'll put one in the comments, and you will have the ability to win jewelry curated to your taste, whether you decide to join us or not. But I hope you do. I'd love to get to know you better. Thanks, everybody.